Hey everyone, Justin here. In this video, we're going to be talking to Pastor Seth Drury about his experiences helping others through ministering. If you share the pastor's strong religious faith, you might explore what a career path in your personal faith looks like. If not, you might want to explore career paths that let you be part of a larger cause that you care about, like working for a nonprofit or a charity or an advocacy group. But first, let's find out a bit more about Pastor Seth's unique personal faith journey.
Listen, church, you and I were created not just to exist, but we were created to do something. We all have a calling. We all have a purpose.
Seth Drury is an Assembly of God minister in Arkansas. From a young age, he knew that this is what he was supposed to do with his life.
And eventually, I began to kind of sense that the Lord maybe was calling me to devote the career aspect of my life to an expression of faith and to calling. And people started to recognize that in me and started to kind of speak to that.
While still a teen, Seth volunteered at his local church. He led Bible study groups and even sometimes gave sermons on Sundays.
And then there was kind of almost a crisis moment where at 16, it just was like this encounter with God where it felt like God was calling me and saying, this is who I created you to be. I created you to preach the gospel. I created you to lead in the church.
Seth was born and raised a Baptist in Virginia. He considered attending Liberty University, where many other fellow Baptists were attending. However, his pastor and mentor advised him otherwise.
And he said, if you want to be an effective minister, you need to know how to communicate and reach people who have different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds.
Instead, Seth went to the College of William and Mary and got a bachelor's in religious studies.
I got experiences that I wouldn't have gotten somewhere else.
After he graduated, Seth was in a bit of a bind. He felt a calling to go on to seminary, but he was unsure as to how he would pay for it.
And when you're in a season of discouragement, one of the best things you can do is begin to pray this prayer: God, reveal yourself to me.
Soon after, Seth got his first big break.
And so I, through a series of God-ordained events, ended up finding a job opening at Teen Challenge.
Teen Challenge is a global, faith-based addiction recovery ministry. Seth became their campus pastor in Arkansas.
I didn't have a past in that at all. I didn't know any. I don't think I'd ever seen an illicit drug before that. And so, but it was a calling thing again, where it was the Lord just opened up the door, felt like God called me to it.
He also started pursuing his master's in divinity at Oral Roberts University, which he achieved in 2020. During this time, Seth also became a lead pastor with Believers Fellowship in Arkansas. Now, the numbers vary as to how many Christian denominations there are exactly worldwide, but most estimates will put it somewhere between mid-30,000s to 40,000. According to definitions.net, a Christian denomination is a distinct religious body within Christianity, identified by traits such as name, organization, leadership, and doctrine. Believers Fellowship is part of the Assemblies of God denomination. Despite his belief that ministering was his true calling, Seth's had his doubts.
I used to think, well, I'm so introverted and I'm not really good at the small talk thing that, maybe I'm not cut out for this.
While at seminary, Seth took a personality test.
A professor of mine pointed out the introverts in the room and was just like, God has called you and you have specific giftings and talents and abilities that the extroverts in the room don't have.
Seth further points out times in the Bible where all sorts of diverse characters were chosen to serve God.
Just look at the Bible. There's all kinds of crazy different personalities in the Bible of people that God used in the scripture. Some of them were jerks. Some of them Some of them were jocks, some of them were the more intellectual, quiet types, some of them were military leaders, some of them were political leaders, some of them were farmers. God used all kinds. And so it's the same with pastoring.
Just as there are many diverse characters that can be called to pastoring, there are many different ways of pastoring besides just in a church. A rodeo cowboy Seth knew found that out when he quit cowboying to work full-time in a church.
And for a few years, he wore a suit and tie and worked in an office with no windows in a church somewhere, and he was miserable. And finally, he had this encounter with the Lord where God said, I created you, be a cowboy. Go be a cowboy and tell other cowboys about Jesus. And so he became a missionary to the rodeo industry because he didn't put those there on accident. He didn't create you on accident. He gave you those interests, those desires, those talents and gifts on purpose, for a purpose, right?
For those of you committed to pastoring in a church, be sure to look up what the requirements are for your denomination.
As many denominations and churches there are out there, there's that many ways to go down the path to receiving credentials or ordination or whatever that might be.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, as of May 2021, the median annual wage for clergy was $49,720. Clergy are typically formal leaders within established religions.
The Bible teaches that that teachers and leaders should make their living from the ministry that they do. We see that in the New Testament.
Some apostles mentioned in the Bible, like Paul, continued to earn a living at another job while answering God's call.
Pastor Katie, would you come?
To this day, it's common for pastors to be bivocational. That's when you work for the church while also holding a second job to supplement your income. Seth's wife, Katie, co-pastors with him while also working as an elementary special education teacher. Besides preparing and giving sermons, a pastor's duties also include performing special services such as weddings and baptisms, pastor care and counseling, and community engagement, among other functions. Here's some money-saving advice for those of you who'd like to continue on to college for ministering.
If you're going into ministry, you do not have to go to the most expensive fancy school out there, because the likelihood is that your job, ministry is the only career where more education does not necessarily equate more money in your paycheck.
So, if you're a religious or spiritual person, you could explore the options for careers in your religion or denomination. You can talk to your pastor about their unique calling. Talk to your imam about their path to ministry, or your rabbi about what education they pursued to be prepared for their work. If you're part of a different religion or spiritual path, explore career options for that. If you think a career in ministry might be for you, you can explore your options by participating in a local youth group, volunteering at your local religious institution, or researching more about the requirements for ministry in your spiritual community. If you're not personally religious, but like the idea of devoting your life to a cause or purpose that you're passionate about, you might look into nonprofit and advocacy groups around your areas of interest. Care about the environment? Look into careers that would allow you to advocate for protecting our Earth. Interested in helping to end homelessness? Explore local charities and nonprofits in your area that support the homeless population. Thank you, Pastor Seth, for showing us what a spiritual career path might look like. Like Seth, you too can find a career that suits your purpose, regardless of whether it's your religious beliefs or your personal morals and mission. And if you don't know your personal morals or mission yet, that's totally fine too. We're going to be exploring lots of different career paths over the next coming weeks, so you've got plenty of time to figure it out. See you next time.